What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Battle Cage. It's your boy Saif. I really wanted to record a lot earlier, believe me, I did, and do like a recap video for you guys. But man, as you can hear my voice, I have absolutely lost it. I went berserk after Charles Oliveira win, and just absolutely, I was just so excited. I was screaming, I was cursing out, I was telling everybody, "Yo, I told you so." Yeah, very, very happy for Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Very happy on my bet that I placed on Charles do Bronx Oliveira. We're going to recap this right now without wasting any time. I will pull up for you guys for just to recap, the past the main event. I won't go into a lot of details. There were definitely some questionable decisions. The co-main event with Rose didn't deliver as much as we thought it would. So there was just, um, you know what I'm saying? It's just it was one of those nights where if you weren't placing big bets on certain specific spots, you really were not gonna going anywhere. And the parlay busters that we chose were just, you know, they in retrospect they were still good. They were there, but it was just like so close, and it just didn't go our way. But the straight plays and the leans that we said were absolutely fantastic. So for me, from the parlays, I played two parlays. Unfortunately, they got busted up pretty early. But my main play uh, just was spectacular. And then I caught a live play, and I was just absolutely lucky. So let's just, without further ado, let me just give you guys what I have for my betting night. So, where is this? Right here. So, from the betting perspective, the first one was Dimitri Bivol. Now, my original pick was obviously Canelo, and I grabbed him a lot earlier in a parlay at minus 400. By the time the fight happened, um, Canelo was boosted all the way to like minus 600. Some bookies even had him like over 600. So obviously, I was not gonna parlay that again. Because my parlay had him as one of the last anchors, and that got busted up pretty early. The first one of the parlays got busted up because of Norma Dumont. She had a split decision, which we will see. But this was placed, as you can see, when the fight already was in progress. This was a live bet. I was able to catch Dimitri Bivol like close to like plus 375 or something, and yeah, as you can see, I put a $500 wager live. This was live, like I said. I was watching the fight. I was in FanDuel, so I was on ground. I was in the trenches live, pulling off units, guys. So, I grabbed them in the third. My boys at the table, they had Canelo in their parlays. However, as the fight started, I looked around the tickets, and they were not major plays. They were like, a couple of $100, nothing major, right? So, and most of them were tied in a parlay, which included rows and things like that. And it was literally at the same time I saw rows on the right side, right? So I was watching this. If you ever been to a sports book, you got just so many TVs. So you got UFC going on the right hand side, and you had the boxing going on the left side. So I was kind of in the beginning, obviously more interested in the UFC, and then after the first round, I said, "What gives?" And then the second round was very funny, and it was just in time with Bivol, and Bivol was going down, and I saw him kind of weathering the storm in the first two rounds, and in the third round, I told my boys, "Listen, I really like Bivol here. It was plus 475. I'll be a fool not to take it. The man is standing, and he's really taking all the shots from Canelo." And then I see the body posture, and he's really not being weathered, And my boys are like, "No, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Canelo's gonna, pick him apart. Blah blah blah." And I said, "Okay, fine, that's okay. You don't have to do what I do." So I hit $500 bet, and as you can see, that was a really good profit for me. But again, that was a live bet. This was not like premeditated or studied. It was very hard to bet against Canelo, and it is what it is. But look at my next play. This happened right before the fight. Obviously, it was, and everything is in the receipts, guys. I'm being very transparent here. So as you can see on the timestamp, May 7th, 11:33 p.m. is right before the fight, and so that was the play that was placed right before the fight. That was a major play. It was, as you can see, a 25 unit play. This was not a secret. I was on site as soon as I came in. I was asked, they know who I am at this point. I'm extremely validated. And I was asked who you're betting on, and obviously it was the main question. And I said, it's Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. The champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira. They were laughing, but I said, I'm not laughing. I came here with 25 units. And it's a funny story because BetMGM, which I have a beef with now, they kind of locked me out. Now, it could be because I have two phones, and it could be because I play mostly in New York now, because we can play in New York, and then all of a sudden I'm in New Jersey, so they started like maybe flagging me, why the activity was going on. So, I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I was having technical difficulties, and at that point it's 11:30. I arrived on site around 10 o'clock, so I did not force anything. As soon as my parlays got busted up, I was all right. I was actually in a spa. I was relaxing. I was meditating. I was really not getting emotional, so it really didn't matter to me. I had limited use of my phone. I wasn't even watching a lot of the fights. I'll be quite honest with you. So everything that I'll recap was just basically, from the numbers and from what I was just seeing between the scenes. And my main play was Charles Oliveira, as you can see. This is all of these bets were placed May 7th, with the exception of the Dimitri Bivol that was placed right after 12 o'clock. And this was live, as you can see. This was in progress. But there is no other bets on this ticket. This was from DraftKings because BetMGM locked me out. And the only sports book that allowed me to play was DraftKings. So, hat off to DraftKings. And moving forward, most of my lines that I will be referencing will be DraftKings because I'm like, that's the only book that has the balls to take my bets. The reason I didn't bet with FanDuel was because they also were giving me a runaround between transferring money from my account to them. So I've never had that problem. I don't know what it was, but I was actually upset because I was ready to put the bet at 10 o'clock. But anyway, all good things come to those that wait. And I was able to grab it at the right time. Now, with that being said, I put Charles Oliveira 25 units, as you can see. The line was around minus 145. It was a much better line than it was at FanDuel. At that point, the live line FanDuel right before the fight was minus 158. It went from minus 140 to 158, so there was a lot of action on FanDuel coming in from Charles. Now, perhaps I moved the line a little bit because when I came in, I was literally swarmed by, cappers and bettors, and they were like, yo, who you taking? And I said it. They were a little bit, I guess they wanted Gaethje's side, so some of them didn't believe me, so they wanted to go against me. But I was very adamant. I was not going to change my position. So as you can see, as soon as I was able to transfer the money, my very first bet was Charles Oliveira, 25 units. It was placed and it was cashed. The live hit that I did was a bonus. Either way, I would have been happy. You know what I'm saying? Like minus 145, your return was around 68%. So what do you there's nothing to argue about that. That's actually a good return on a favor that you're not going to win. I was almost this close at pulling the inside the distance prop for Charles Oliveira, but I'm not greedy, so I put that in. And then once I put the Bivol, I was actually very happy because at that point, I told myself I either leave with profit of 11 units, which will absolutely erase my bad night with font because I was very transparent. I lost 10 units there. And had I won just based on that with missing Dimitri, I was going to just leave with $100, and that's fine. I mean, you didn't lose anything. But in my favor, thank God, Dimitri Bivol prevailed, and look what happened. And that's that. The thought was if he prevails, then I neutralize the minus 115, and I gain it. I gain it so much. I mean, it was plus 375. You're talking about massive profit here. So overall, uh, cashed in plus 35 units, so it's plus 3,500 units. We're gonna minus the 10 units from the previous night. For Rob Font, it was the worst card of my life, and I netted $2,500 between the 2 weeks. And you know what? That's absolutely fantastic for me. Please remember this: I'm not in the business of wasting my time or yours. I'm in the business of making money, and I'm being very, very honest with you. And this is kind of my second income. This YouTube thing is just to help you guys, trying to get a little side hustle going too. But this is kind of what I do with main events. This is why I'm gonna live in the main event. This is why the main card also. I'm not gonna take a quick dump on the prelims. There's a lot of action in the prelims, but they've been very, very sketchy lately, and I think we should stick to the formula. Now let's go over the past event, just really, really superficially here. There was a lot of action, early prelims, the prelims, and obviously the main card. In the prelims, unfortunately for me, I chose the most expensive guy. It was Clayton Rodriguez, and one parlay was already busted. When I think back, I remember telling you guys I see the over 2.5, and I see the fight going a distance for Arian Carnelossi and Lupe Godinez. I should have just stayed with that, but again, I didn't. I wanted to be as cautious as possible with the parlay. It bit me in the ass. And then Tracy Cortez versus Melissa Gatto. There was a lot of love for Gatto. I loved Gatto here too. However, if you remember my words, and I'm on record, go check me out. I'm not even gonna hide. Everything is record. Everything is uploaded. I said that Tracy Cortez is a decision machine, and if Tracy Cortez basically enters her world here, and as you can see, 7 minutes and 54 seconds of control time, that's Tracy's world, and there was not a lot of action coming in from Melissa Gatto to threaten, to stop, or to even do some damage. And pretty much that's it. 2 out of 3 takedowns for her, and she seals the deal with most control time. It's not like Melissa Gatto didn't take some takedown. She did too, and but as you can see, it was a unanimous decision, and she absolutely deserves it. Another big prediction, which was almost guaranteed, was Andre Fiallo under 1.5. I told you guys, and it was Andre Fiallo by KO. I couldn't grab the KO prop because it didn't come out till the late, but the KO prop was what I was hungry for. I wish I was a little bit more reserved, and I waited for it, but I grabbed the 1.5. But that's fine. It's okay. It is what it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what happened. One parlay just got busted away, but I was already in the sauna. I was meditating. I was, detoxifying, and nothing was gonna stop me. Then we move into the prelims. Blachowicz Ivanov by decision. Great. My partner was really high on Brandon Royval. That comes through. The man just goes berserk. This was the second parlay buster for me, unfortunately. Norma Dumont versus Macy Chiasson. I expected and envisioned a much different fight than what happened here. And I was very sad to see this midway between me going to the sauna and just checking my locker where I kept my phone. Because like I said, I didn't want to be bothered with nonsense. I saw like 5-minute control time for Macy, and I got discouraged. So I kind of knew where this was. So I already told myself, okay, that parlay is gone. So parlay number 2 got busted because of Norma Dumont. The other calls were in here, Blagoy, Brandon, but that parlay already got busted on. So, even though I had Rose moving down, it didn't really matter here. So that got busted up. Really upset at myself for not pulling a trigger on Francisco as much as I wanted to. Again, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We just got to live and learn. But good for Francisco. He did a good job. In the main event, I was absolutely discouraged here because I told one person at FanDuel who I was going to pick, and I said I'm picking K.S. Williams. And as you can see over here, there's a 1 knockdown, which I will have to say I disagree. I don't think this was a 1 knockdown. I believe he should have had 2 knockdowns. There was 1 in the first round and 1 in the third round. And even though significant strikes, there's a little differential. But the actual quality of strikes, in my opinion, was a lot better for Chaos here. They're scoring 26 head strikes to 68, but the 68 strikes that Randy was landing, they were just like a kind of like just like small little fist taps. So I'm not really sure if he deserved that win. It was a split decision. The control time was obviously for Chaos. He finished the fight strong. The legs were going to Chaos. Yeah, there's a little body, like head differential, but you got to see where Chaos had Randy Brown. You know what I'm saying? It depends how you guys saw the fight. I disagree. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I didn't have any action on that. Yeah, OSP, that was the pick. That was the actual call. I said most likely by decision. He gets the job done. And then one of the most spectacular front kicks ever by Michael Chandler. I was seconds away, as you can see, seconds away. Well, I'm lying. It wasn't really seconds, but anyway. I was very close of hitting that 1.5, but it is what it is. Fight starts round 2. Came in. Chandler won. He was one of the biggest favorites on the card as well. He deserved that win. Great win. I feel bad for Tony. I was absolutely shocked. I was in awe. I was speechless for Tony. Tony started very good. He clipped Michael Chandler. Had him in a funny situation here before the takedown from Chandler. But yeah, he definitely messed up that eye. So there was power from Tony, and Tony looked good. And you never know how this fight would have played out had it went the distance. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Tony got sent to another realm because the face on Tony was like a child waking up from a nap. Like he just didn't know where he was. He was confused. He was embarrassed, I'm sure. But man, I just feel bad for Tony. He should really reconsider fighting in the UFC. I know his job is not necessarily in jeopardy because we love him. So we're still going to tune in for his fights. Just like with Cerrone, right? He's been losing 5 straight, and we still kind of love him. But yeah, I just think he should reconsider, maybe go to Bellator and get some W's over there and make some money. And then, by now, there's no real need for me to just talk about Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza because we know what happened. But my personal perspective is the fight was a draw. If you just look at the numbers alone, either the fight goes to Rose or the fight is a draw. Carla Esparza did not win this fight, and Rose Namajunas did not win this fight. Rose Namajunas did not lose this fight. Carla Esparza did not win this fight. Carla Esparza did not really lose this fight. So the fight should have been a draw, in my honest opinion. The difference in control time is what, 12 seconds? And there was nothing done from there. Some leg kicks, but there was barely damage for Rose. But then Rose got 7 more punches, 2 extra kicks. So what are you really telling me? Just because you got an extra takedown, 2 out of 11, that you deserve this W? It's a horrible, horrible main event. I'm sorry, co-main event, pardon me. It was a horrible fight for Rose. It was I guess, the most brilliant fight for Carla. She left without a scratch on her face, and she's going to have her wedding on Saturday. And then, yeah. There's nothing really to say except this fight was really, really stupid. There was bad things coming out from Rose's corner. You hear the boos, you're winning the fight. Come on, man. Come on. Coaching was so bad, terrible. They should have said, Rose, if you don't let go, and you can let go, we know you can, you're going to lose this fight, and you're not going to be the champion anymore. You need to go, and that should have been made clear in the 4th round before even going into the 5th. That should have been made absolutely clear that you are going to lose this fight. Like, consider you losing right now. You're not showing me that you're winning. I don't know what's going to happen. We had nothing but split decisions the whole night, and you're in jeopardy. And if that wasn't made clear, the coaches take the L and Rose. Well, Rose should have been unloading, but she has to listen to her corner as a fighter. But anyway, I'm not going to go too crazy on that. Again, the parlay was busted at that point, so it didn't matter. And now, 25-unit play. Charles do Bronx Oliveira. The champion has a name, and the name is Charles Oliveira. So put some respect in this man's name. Justin Gaethje was calling him a quitter. Well, guess who tapped out? Guess who quit? Guess who didn't engage in the guard? You dropped Charles Oliveira, and you did not engage in the guard. You thought you can stand and bang with Charles Oliveira? Well, guess what, guys? He's no longer a little cub, He's a lion, like he said. He's a lion among lions, and he's the champ. He is the chief. He's the, the head honcho. The greatest fight in lightweight history that we're probably going to see in terms of talent is arguably this man, Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. It will be, in terms of undisputed lightweight, that would be it. We've never had Khabib defend his title against the greatest threat. With all due respect, Justin was not a threat for Khabib. With all due respect, Tony was never going to be a threat to him. Thank God Tony didn't fight Khabib. With all due respect, Dustin Poirier was no match for Khabib. Khabib has never faced someone with so much threat in terms of striking, in terms of grappling. You're talking about the all-time leader in submissions for Charles do Bronx Oliveira. The confidence is key. The man literally put Brazil in his back, his home country in his back, in the enemy territory. So just massive respect for Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Now, I said this was going to be brief, but I kind of had to give you guys my 2 cents. If you're still here with me, thank you so much. And if you like my content and what I have to say, make sure you hit that smash the like button, smash that like button, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And comment down below, because I actually absolutely love engaging with people and going back and forth. But yeah, this was kind of a recap from the parlays and picking perspective. It was kind of kind of night, but if you evaluate the betting perspective, it was a phenomenal night for me. My voice just coming back because I was just like, I lost it. I couldn't speak. I couldn't record. I couldn't do anything. Now, that's it. We can close the chapter on UFC 274. It will go down as one of the greatest nights for Charles do Bronx Oliveira. And we are now going to focus on the main card, UFC Fight Night, Blachowicz versus Rakic. I will say this is a great bounce back from April in terms of fight nights. We were getting some questionable fight cards there. But I glanced over this UFC Fight Night. Pardon me. Sorry, I just ate. But yeah, I glanced over the UFC fight card, and I gotta tell you guys that I see a lot of good fights. What I don't see is a lot of positions where I can be so confident and just say it. I also smell something. It smells like horse shit all over again. So please be careful. Tread very, very careful here. Do not overexhaust. So for me, for example, let's say I'm coming off net of I had a 35 night plus night, but I obviously lost the 10th prior. I'm gonna give you my net as 25, all right? Because I had a bad performance. I'm not happy myself with the Rob Font night. So I'm gonna say I'm coming off with a net for the last 2 weeks of plus 25. So going into May, because this is like the first May card, going into May, I'm coming in with 25 units, right? Now, I've netted at this point, if you guys are keeping track, we can do this really fast. But, I had like a 34 night. I had like a 27 night, 25 night now. And I had like a 15 night, I believe. 15 or something or 20 something. It was another 20 something. I'll say 15. I don't remember. So I'm coming off with 10 units in the last 2 to 3 months. I'm sorry, 101 units. We'll say 100 units, That's absolutely fantastic. I in my books, you know what I'm saying? So we're not going to be too crazy here. I have a lot of good spots coming up in the near future, so we're going to reserve. Um, I suggest playing futures, taking some future bets and parlaying and let it ride there for $100. So for one unit, it's going to be a great payout come to July. Now, with that being said, guys, in the futures, I will be announcing soon, possibly in a day or so, which I strongly recommend you capitalize on. I've put on a lot of people on it. Take futures, guys. Don't live card by card. Take the best ones from each card and move forward to as far as you can go. Now, let's go back to the task on hand. We got several spots here. I said I smell a lot of horseshit, so tread carefully. And I also want to declare something. Don't be surprised if it's a dog type of night. I mean, really, do not be surprised if this is a dog type of night. I'm going to say this again because I really want you to understand. Do not be surprised if this is a dog type of night. But don't be surprised if it's not. So it's so volatile here. Very hard to gauge. So let's go into the first finally. So at 26 and 30 something minutes, we can go in. This podcast will be, close to an hour with the breakdowns and my recaps and my rambling and whatever. I'll separate this into part 1, part 2. So now officially part 2. John Blachowicz versus Alexander Rakic. I will be focusing mainly on the main card here. In this particular spot, you got 6'2" for Blachowicz, 6'4" for Rakic, 78 reach for both men. Significant strikes landed per minute is favoring Alexander Rakic at 4.23 versus 3.59. The significant striking is favoring Alexander Rakic. That also could be to his methodical approach and the fact that his volume just always seems to outperform his opponent. And his significant, his takedown average is actually less than Jan Blachowicz. If anything, I'm favoring the ground game for Jan Blachowicz. In my opinion, takedown accuracy is obviously graded for Jan Blachowicz at 53.33% versus 25. So more than double. And if you look at the submission average, they're kind of pretty much the same. We got to look at the body of work from both men here. Let's go here. I was looking at something, but there you go. Let's look at this. And we're going to go to topology. So the body of work. So obviously, Jan Blachowicz was 39 years old to 30 years old. So there's a 9-year gap. It is a light heavyweight bout, so I wouldn't put too much stock on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Blachowicz is old at this division, but he's definitely getting up there. He just turned 39, the legendary Polish power. He coined it a lot for us. So it's a very interesting matchup. On paper, I think Alexander Rakic should win, but Jan Blachowicz possesses deadly knockout power. So if you look at Alexander Rakic, in the last 5 fights, Devin Clark, not a knockout power. Jimmy Manuwa is a knockout power, but he took out Jimmy Manuwa. He fought Volkan Ozdemir, also at the end of his run. Split decision loss. He's fought Anthony Pettis. That was a bad fight for Pettis because Pettis was coming off a terrible fight to Glover. So he had no business, in my opinion, fighting Rakic. And then he beats Thiago Santos. Great win, by the way. So, yeah. The pick is Rakic. And the confidence is very low. I will have to pull up the lines for you. So bear with me. I'll pull up the lines right now. So the current line is minus 190 for Alexander Rakic, and Jan Blachowicz is returning plus 160. So if you're gonna get Rakic, I think you should kind of get it now. I do see this line movement going down relatively on a steady basis. I'm expecting Rakic to close closer to minus 230-ish maybe. But the line is there, so let's see if there's going to be a bounce back for Jan at dog money here. But Rakic is probably the safest pick here. Doesn't mean that Rakic is going to win. It just means he's the safer pick. I don't know if I would like to take action in the main card, in the actual main event. I think Rakic stylistically matches up very well with Jan because he is going to be very elusive and he's going to dodge a lot of those power shots. The only thing that I'm uncertain of is if Jan Blachowicz will be able to close the distance and maybe go into the wrestling world and use his jiu-jitsu here. Because he is a jiu-jitsu based type of fighter with just crazy power. But, being the younger, fresher guy, I think if Rakic just uses those, long legs of his and starts chopping on Jan Blachowicz, instead of Blachowicz chopping on Rakic, and, use that, long frame of his and just pounce, move back, he can possibly get a decision win. These are big boys. So it's 50-50 if this fight goes the distance, because Jan Blachowicz is a finisher, you know what I'm saying? And Rakic, he possesses the knockout power too. This is light heavyweight division, guys. 205. These are big studs here. 6'4", 6'2". So the pick is Rakic for me. I believe he's a decent parlay piece. But I'm not writing off Jan Blachowicz entirely. You know what I'm saying? I do see myself in a situation where if I have a very solid parlay, I will split the two in half and have Blachowicz on one side and Rakic on the other and let the best man win, and I'll capitalize on both. But I would have to find other spots that I'm really, really confident with. So the pick is Rakic here. I think that's the way to go. Let's move down. The co-main event here is also pretty intriguing. We have Ryan Spann taking on Ian Cutelaba. That's pretty interesting fight because of their nicknames, if you ask me. Give me a second here. Pardon me. Let's go to night. So, if you know Ryan Spann, his nickname is Superman. And if you know Ian Cutelaba, his name is Hulk, right? So it would be funny if maybe, Ryan Spann comes out maybe with a red cape or something, and the Hulk comes out all green. In terms of the money line, I do agree with it. As you can see, the favorite side is Ian Cutelaba. Ian Cutelaba is a very, very dangerous fighter. Even though he's a little bit undersized here, Ryan Spann is a very, very large guy. He's tall. He's 6'5" with a 4-inch reach advantage, 79 to 75. The significant strikes landed per minute favoring Ian Cutelaba just a slight bit, 4.91 to 3.43. The accuracy is pretty much even because sometimes both men, throw, but they don't necessarily land clean. The takedown average is what also is absolutely perhaps the deciding factor here. The deciding factor is if the takedown average, which favors Ian Cutelaba of about 4.39 to 1.58, as you can see, with a 60% takedown accuracy. If this happens and he takes down Ryan Spann down, he will win this fight 100%. Whether it's decision, whether he's going to catch him with a ground and pound, or even submit the guy. Ian Cutelaba is very dangerous in the very first round. I mean, he's absolutely deadly in the first round. Whereas Ryan Spann has the ability to take this to a little bit of deeper waters, 3 rounds, but he's also, we've seen him gas out, especially with Sam Alvey. He was doing very well against Sam Alvey and then just completely faded in the 3rd round and made Sam Alvey look very good. And in fact, he got a split over there. Now, if we look at the body of work here in the last 5 fights, For Ian Cutelaba, he has a KO win against Khalil Roundtree, which ended pretty well, if you ask me. He lost to Magomed Ankalaev, who gets, in my opinion, disrespected. But he is fighting a very top contender, I believe Anthony Smith, if I'm not mistaken, and that should, basically put him on track for the title, because I believe he deserves a title win. After Anthony Smith, #1 contender, and that's it. Give him the title shot. Now, with that being said, Magomed Ankalaev, they ran this back, right? That first one was a KO listed loss, but it was a very controversial loss because Ian Cutelaba was not knocked out. Some say he was playing possum and the fight should have never been stopped. And I agree. I think it was a bad stoppage. But then they ran it back, and Magomed Ankalaev said it was not a fluke, my man. I can knock you out, and he actually knocked him out. He has a draw against Dustin Jacoby. It was a very competitive fight from both men. That's where Dustin Jacoby gained my respect, per se. But and then he comes off with a good unanimous decision win against Devin Clark. And what do you want me to say? It's Devin Clark. It's Devin Clark. Take it with how you want to take it. He is 2 years younger here, so he's 28 versus 30. And Ryan Spann, I mean, look at him. Devin Clark, he submitted Devin Clark. Remember that Sam Alvey business that we just talked about? He looked good in the first two and then just faded away. He got knocked out by Johnny Walker because I think he underestimated Johnny Walker. That was a good win for Johnny Walker. He knocked out Misha Serkinov, but at this point, we're not very, very high on Misha Serkinov. And he just he just got destroyed by Anthony Smith, and that's the truth. He got destroyed. He got manhandled by Anthony Smith, and that was my unofficial play, my real official play. So high on Anthony Smith. I believe, was Anthony Smith an underdog? Let me just see something. I believe he was an underdog coming into this fight. He was disrespected heavily, because, it was just big disrespect coming here. No, he was a favorite actually, a slight favorite. Okay, why did I think he was an underdog? Hey, okay. Interesting. I thought he was an underdog in this fight. Anyway. Back to Ryan Spann. Yeah, he got absolutely manhandled by Anthony Smith and basically dragged to the ground, gave up his back, and he got submitted. That's why I'm afraid in this particular spot here for Ian Cutelaba. If he can stuff the takedown, because the way physically imposing Anthony Smith is in terms of I'm going to get straight in your face, it's not like Ian Cutelaba. Ian Cutelaba comes out there swinging bombs. The first minute is where he's the most dangerous. I mean, just absolutely dangerous. But I don't really trust Ian Cutelaba, and I don't trust Ryan Spann. So this is a fight that, I personally don't like the line on Ian Cutelaba here. And just on sheer principle and just from sheer, odds, I would probably consider taking the dog here. But do I trust him? No. Should Ian Cutelaba win? Yeah. Will he? I don't know. It's so hard for me to be, as I'm sitting here and I'm reviewing this video with you guys, I don't know confidently if Ian Cutelaba can win here, because if Ryan Spann is able to survive the first round and he's not being taken down, which is the key factor in here, right? He wins the fight, in my opinion. He's going to outland and outstrike Ian Cutelaba. It's very interesting to see if the Superman has a good bounce back. He's due for a bounce back. And based on the activity of Ian Cutelaba, he's due for a loss, okay? He's due for another disappointing loss. It's very exciting on the weigh-ins. I'd like to see that weigh-in. I'd like to hear the media. I'd like to hear the interviews. I'd like to see what's going on. I'd like to see the weigh-ins. No official play as of yet. Leaning dog money here. Leaning. But confidence level is very low. Okay, guys. Let's go to the next one. So we got Davy Grant taking on Louis Smolka. We got 5'8", 5'9", 135 bantamweight division. We got 69 to 68.5, pretty much the same. So physically, they pretty much the same. Significant strikes landed per minute, pretty much the same, 4.55 to 4.54. Accuracy slightly Smolka. Takedown average, pretty much the same. Accuracy goes a little bit for Davy Grant. So let's look at them side by side and determine their body of work. Davy Grant is coming in close to 300 favorite. Let me check the lines. So as you can see, Davy Grant is coming in here minus 290. Louis Smolka is coming here at as plus 230. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I don't necessarily agree of paying close to 300 minus 300 on Davy Grant. It depends how you guys see the fight as well. Remember, you have to make the choice for yourself. Considering the fact that Davy Grant is coming off 2 losses back to back, Marlon Vera, which we kind of understand who Marlon Vera is, and Adrian Yanez split decision, and we are high on Adrian Yanez. You gotta feel that this is a good bounce back against Louis Smolka, who's coming with a trading resume here. Lose to Matt Schnell, win against Ryan McDonald. Lose to Casey McKinney, win against Jose Alberto Quinones. Lose against Vince Morales with that overhand KO. I believe Davy Grant is the side, but I don't believe Davy Grant is that expensive. I believe it should not be that crazy. Do I believe in Davy Grant in a parlay? I believe in Davy Grant in a parlay. Do I believe in Davy Grant with a lot of units? I don't believe in Davy Grant with a lot of units. And this is why, for me, as of right now, it will be a no-play position. So far, if you are following, the main card is shaky, although I believe Rakic is the right side. In the co-main event, it's dog money or not, unless you're very confident with Ian Cutelaba, but that could change depending on the interview, depending on the weigh-ins. A lot of things can happen. So I haven't made any plays as of yet. Possibly tomorrow I'll start looking at plays. But in this position, obviously, you kind of gravitating toward Davy Grant, but it's not something that I feel very, very strong about, okay? I would just say pass the damn fight. Let's look at the next one. The next one is a lot more intriguing in terms of storyline, possibilities, and there will be a lot of action here. You got Chookagian, the former challenger at the women's flyweight division, taking on Amanda Ribas. Pardon me. The size 5'9" for Chookagian, 5'3" for Amanda Ribas. Ribas is actually moving up here from 115, strawweight to the flyweight division, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Let me see. Her last one was Verna Jandaroba. This was come on now. Let me see this. Verna Jandaroba. Yeah, 115. So I was right. I'm not going crazy here. So Amanda Ribas is getting up there with some weight. Interesting. I don't know why. I'd like to hear her say why. So I'd like to hear the media on Wednesday and really, really gauge that a little bit deeply. The reach, 2-inch reach advantage for Chookagian. Significant strikes are pretty much the same. Amanda Ribas is a striker. takedown average favoring Amanda Ribas, but I don't know if she's going to be taking Caitlin down here. That's something interesting to see. The takedown accuracies, all those stats are now, they're nullified here, right? They don't mean anything because she's going up in weight. She's going to be fighting a bigger girl. Those numbers don't mean really shit to me. The numbers that speak volumes is obviously the high discrepancy. Caitlin is going to be much bigger. She's going to have the reach. And we know what Caitlin does. Caitlin has that the yeah factor. She just makes noises when she makes those punches. And if she stands there and kataos and papows for 3 rounds with Amanda Ribas, she's going to win unanimous decision. So hard to back Amanda Ribas here, although I want to. I will be honest with you. I'm feeling Amanda Ribas. I just happen to be a fan. I know she got knocked out by Marina Rodriguez, but I'm high on Marina Rodriguez as well. So before that, she was putting in some work, right? Paige Van Zandt, Ronda Marcos, Mackenzie Dern, Emily Whitmire. So there was a lot of heat. She's an attractive young lady. She's very, very marketable. She has a lot of personality, a lot of good things about her. Yeah, I'm going to be probably called a simp because I think Amanda Ribas, she's just attractive, and maybe because of that, I'm picking her. But Caitlin Chookagian is at the top of the division. You're talking about a debuting fighter against, where is she? She top 3, top 4? Let me see, in the women's division, right? In the women's flyweight division, where the hell is Caitlin? Well, she's 10. Oh, wow, look at that. I'm sorry. So Caitlin Chookagian is top 10 now. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, that's because they still got Juliana Pena in the women's flyweight, although she's a bantamweight champion. And Jessica Andrade, although she went down. So there's something going on here. Like, as you can see, there's a Weili Zhang is ranked here. And these cross things, because the girls are moving back and forth, that's kind of, messing with my mind. I think in actuality, she's possibly top 7, top 5, like I said. I know officially she's number 10. That's because she lost to Jessica Andrade. But look what she did right after, guys. She's been very active. Cynthia Calvillo, Vivian Araujo, and Jennifer Maya. This girl, she's been doing work. I believe there's going to be a lot of money. I think just casual money going to be thrown on Chookagian. As you can see, 71%. I don't know. Maybe Amanda Ribas comes here and she surprises us. I'd like to see how she looks as a heavier fighter. But physically, she's going to be outmatched. Caitlin is a smart fighter. She knows how to win bouts. She got the She got that. Every time she throws a punch, she makes those sounds, and those sounds are what's really looking good with the judges these days. And she's winning, man. So I'd like to be the devil's advocate and pick Amanda Ribas. I'm not very confident here, but I like the dog money. But Caitlin Chookagian is definitely a solid piece, and there's really nothing I can tell you. But she's kind of due for a loss, if you ask me. And I think Amanda Ribas is taking this fight knowing she can probably do something. But yeah, Caitlin Chookagian is a tough outing for Amanda Ribas. Tough. Let's look at the next fight. Alrighty. We got Frank the Crank taking on Manuel Torres. 5'10" for both guys, 73 for reach for both guys. The significant strikes landed per minute is overwhelmingly favoring Manuel Torres with 11.54. Significant accuracy is favoring Manuel Torres, and the rest we don't really have data on. Okay, Frank the Crank is 32 years old. 27 years old is for El Loco Manuel Torres. Another debuting Contender Series guy. And all the debuting guys have been taking L's so far. All the veterans have been winning so far. All the cappers have called overwhelmingly, even with me, on the Contender debuting stars. And we all got burned by these stars. After the White Lion, the Canadian guy, I've made my personal vendetta against these guys. And I'm not going to be picking them to win with my money. They should be winning based on the performance that I see. Like Clayton Rodriguez, he should have been winning this fight. I don't know what happened. Manuel Torres looks game, and he's Mexican. He looks game. Do I want to trust him here? Do I? As a slight favorite again? All these debuting favorites, man, they're letting us down. What do you want me to say? You want me to lie to you? Do you want me to be honest? I say don't bet this fight. That's the honesty. I want to pick Manuel Torres, but I'm scared. Frank the Crank has a horrible record, but he's experienced. He's seasoned, man. He's seasoned. He's marinated. He's at the perfect age to spoil this young man's debut. You know what I'm saying? Will he? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's look at the line. The line is telling me that Frank Camacho is plus 110, slight dog on Manuel Torres at minus 130. If you're going to play the dog, you're going to play the dog and don't look back. If you believe in Manuel Torres, you grab him straight. Manuel Torres, minus 130, you grab him straight. And you don't look back. Whatever you do, you play, you don't look back. Win or loss, you don't look back. You move forward. Don't let this spoil your night. The official pick is going to be... I want to break my record here. I want to finally get a Contender Series winner. I don't know. Damn. I don't know who I want to pick officially. I think flip a coin. Flip a coin. If you like the veteran, take the veteran. If you like the new debuting fighter, take the debuting fighter. I mean, so far, I mean, just look over here, right? Let's look over here. Hold on. Let's go back for a second. I hate going back, but let's just go back for 1 second. Last event. Fernie Garcia, debuting fighter, L. Clayton Rodriguez, L. So, Cameron Van Cam, debuting fighter, L. It speaks for itself. Perhaps this is where we turn things around. Perhaps this is where finally Dana looks like a genius for bringing somebody in. You know what? I'm going to go with Manuel Torres. Official play, single play. 1.5 units. Manuel Torres. I like the nickname. I like his physicality. I like his age. 27 years old, Contender Series. He looks good. He has good physicality on him. I think he's a smart fighter. He's strong. He's a finisher. I don't really like this loss over here, nor do I like this loss, heel hooks. But I think he's game. He has 6 submissions, 6 KOs. Give me Manuel Torres. I'll be playing 1.5 units on Manuel Torres. Official play. I think this is where I turn things around. Damn, Frank the Crank. All right. Manuel Torres is going to be the play. That's it. I'm not looking. Like I said, you play dog money. You don't look back. You play the favorite. You don't look back here. But I feel like this is where I want to be. Let's look at the last fight in the main card. Am I right? The last fight in the main card, yes. And then I will do some homework on the prelims and hit you guys with a prelim take separately, okay? So we got Jake Hadley versus Alan Nascimento. You know, Jake Hadley, moderate favorite here. Another contender series guy, right? Oh, shit. Has an extensive amateur record, which I like that. 4 submissions, 2 KOs, 2 decisions. Alan Nascimento, though, he's game, man. He's really, really game. Alan Nascimento has a loss to Gear Olimbekov split. He's game. Let's look at the stats over here. Let's go back. Jake Hadley, 5'7" to 5'8", 1-inch reach advantage. Southpaw versus Orthodox, 3.18 significant landed strikes to 4.33 favoring Nascimento. Significant accuracy is favoring Alan Nascimento. Takedown average, 1.83 favoring Jake Hadley, and 100% man. So it's like that. Any submission is good. Why am I being put in these positions, guys? I like Jake Hadley. I don't like the money line, guys. I think Alan Nascimento is mad game. I mean, look at the line. Minus 210 versus Alan Nascimento plus 175. Yeah. That's tough. That's a tough position, guys. I like Alan Nascimento, but Jake Hadley. You know what? I think I don't like this fight, to be honest. From a betting perspective, I think the favorite is just too expensive. Probably Jake at minus 170. Probably. I probably would have been a little bit more game to play that. Alan Nascimento is game, though, man. How about the fight? How about the over one? How about the over? Is there an over line? How about the over? Let's not pick anything. How about Nascimento? Nascimento seems very durable, right? Over 2.5. You know what? If there's going to be an alternative line on DraftKings at over 1.5, I probably favor that. It's going to be maybe close to 275, 300, and I probably want to take that in a parlay. Yeah, I'm favoring the over. Just don't know about the 2.5. Probably over to 1.5. And if you're in Jersey, if you have a line, fight starts round 2, I probably like that a lot. So that's where my head is at. Maybe this is a prop. This is a prop because both guys are tough. I don't necessarily see one finishing the other here. It might be a very, very close fight than the lines are indicating. Perhaps Jake Hadley just goes out there and grinds out a decision. 8-0, very young professional career, you know what I'm saying? Versus a very seasoned career. And Alan Nascimento is super game. Submissions, yeah, he's going to look. I like fight starts round 2. I like the dog money on Nascimento also, man. I like the dog money on Nascimento. Anyway, let's recap, okay? Let's recap here. Let's go back. In the main event, I'm going to favor Rakic, but I'm not disrespecting Jan Blachowicz at all. So if I have a parlay, I'm splitting the two sides. One side will be Blachowicz, one side will be Rakic. But I'm favoring Rakic here, possibly unanimous decision. So perhaps the overline, let me see the overline on the main event. That might be something to consider. Rakic overline is set at 3.5. I don't disrespect that. I like that. I like fight starts around 3 in New Jersey if you have that that position, or in PA, I believe they have that position too. Anywhere in FanDuel, you got the timestamps. New York is just not giving us that. I don't know why. I like fight starts round 3. I like the over 3.5. That way you don't got to worry about who wins. That's Rakic's game here. I don't think he's going to go out and try to knock out Blachowicz, and I don't think he wants to wrestle with Blachowicz and look for a submission. He's not like Glover. But, you know, anything happened. But, yeah, how about the fight starts round 3, over 2.5, maybe over 3.5. Like that. That's the main fight. Ryan Spann, Ian Cutelaba, dog or pass for me. I like the dog. Just don't like Ian Cutelaba. You know what I'm saying? That's a straight play for me, if anything. Davy Grant is the pick. Possibly by knockout here. Let me see if the fight doesn't go to distance. Makes sense. Davy Grant. Lewis Smolka. Under, yeah, maybe fight doesn't go to distance if you want to do that. When that comes out, right? Maybe Davy Grant by finish, because Davy Grant throws hammers. He can crack. And Lewis Smolka has a susceptible chin here. Let me see something. Lewis Smolka. Lewis Smolka. Lewis Smolka. Let me see his losses, right? He got submitted. And he got knocked out. Versus Davy Grant, he's going to the top. KO. Yeah, he has the KO power. I don't really trust Lewis Smolka, if you ask me. So, let's go Davy Grant with that grown man strength and knock out Lewis Smolka. The pick will be Davy Grant. Let's go with Davy Grant. You know, might get a lot of crap for it, but I'm gonna go with Amanda Ribas here over Caitlin Chookagian. It's hard going against Caitlin Chookagian. She's on a streak. She's the bigger girl. She got a lot of tools. I'm gonna go with Amanda Ribas, man. This is just a fan in me, okay? I'm just happen to be an Amanda Ribas fan, so I'm just gonna go with that. So call me a simp here. And I am gonna put my money straight bet Manuel Torres 1.5 units. Hey. Come on. Why do they do this to us? Anyway, we're gonna go with Manuel Torres over Frank Camacho 1.5 units. I wanna break my cold streak here. Alan Nascimento versus Jake Hadley. Fight starts round 2. In my opinion, maybe the over prop. But I'm not really sure. But Alan Nascimento is game, guys. And 8-0 is just a very, very fresh type of. But he's, you know, they're very high. People are very high on Jake Hadley here. They're, you know, a very good prospect coming out of England. So, yeah. So be careful. All right. A sneak preview into the prelims. And then I'm going to break them down separately, guys. I'm going to go with Vivian Araujo here over Andrea Lee. I'm going to go. Damn, it's like I said, there's a lot of dog money here. I like Alan Patrick over Michael Johnson. I just don't trust him anymore. I'm going to go with Angela Hill over Verna Jandaroba. Dog money. I'm going to go with this Japanese guy versus Carlos Candelario. We already said that. And co-main event, Nick Maximov talking a bunch of crap here. He's going to go against a fellow wrestler, Andrei Petrovsky. So let's see he does some wrestling against this man who hits like a truck. Let's see if he continues to be undefeated here or he finally gets some business. But Andrei Petrovsky here is he was on the contenders. He's a wrestler, you know what I'm saying, but he gasses out. So be careful here. I think the pick is going to be Maximov, if you ask me. But I would stay the hell away from this fight as far as humanly possible. But I smell a big upset in here. I like Petrovsky just because of the odds and just because Nick Maximov is just a boring ass fighter, but he got a 3-inch reach advantage. He's relatively very, very young, 24 years old. So public perception on Maximov here. Petrovsky, give me that 15% plus dog money. Just for fun, I'll be playing Andrei Petrovsky for half a unit. And yeah. So this is kind of where I stand. I'll probably look into the prelims a little bit more and give you guys a better perspective, maybe today or a day after. I am playing reserved on this card here, okay? I am not going balls to the wall. And I don't suggest you do too. This is not a card that you want to go balls to the wall unless you are super damn confident in certain picks. If you're not, tread ever so slightly. And don't be surprised. And there's dogs here. There might be dogs here, guys. Anyway, I was very, very mellow, very cool, very nonchalant. Now with the usual octane energy, I wanted to reserve my voice here. I'm still, like I said, I'm battling that. I lost my voice over the weekend. But that's pretty much it. That's my 2 cents here. And I hope to see you guys soon. I will be giving you a final picks and bets show. This will be my first one. I am probably reserving myself to 5 units here, okay? So I'm coming off, let's say, 25 units net. Yeah, you don't want to exhaust your new units right now. I'm going to go with 5 units into this card and see if I can double. If I can double my 5 units, that'll be absolutely fantastic. In any case, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. Like and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe and God bless.